So in this video I'm going to show you how I completed Dragon Slayer 2. So I woke up suddenly on the Thursday morning, checked the phone, realised, oh wait, it's not Thursday morning, it's Thursday afternoon, the quest is already out, no doubt. People have already completed the quest, no doubt. Wook's probably completed it in like 20 minutes when it's supposed to be like 4 hours long. So I instantly got out of bed, sat down at my desk, threw out Wednesday's trash, and loaded up RuneScape. One of the few benefits of starting this quest after many people had already completed it is that there was a very rough draft of the quest guide on the Wikipedia. So rough in fact that the final boss section said something along the lines of, "It's a dragon, what did you expect?" That was the only information given about the final boss on this Wikipedia page, and it also mentioned something about a foreskin fortress. Now I don't understand where that came from, but that was also in there. So the Wikipedia at the time of starting the quest, it was very bare bones. However, luckily for me, the only thing that was actually useful on that Wikipedia page was the list of items required for doing the quest, items I should get before starting the quest. So this is the list here. These are the items you need before starting the quest. So I spent a few minutes preparing these items in my bank, so I didn't have to worry about buying anything else during the quest. Now that the preparation is finished, it's time to actually begin the quest. Let's use the spirit tree to the Felled Hills, a fancy new spirit tree teleport that takes you right outside the Myths Guild. I started the quest by speaking to a man named Alec Kincaid. He is located just outside the Myths Guild, to the southwest of the Felled Hills, and he explains that you need to head to Karamja to speak to a man named Dallas Jones. And this is Dallas Jones. He's an asshole, he has a dumb name, and he also dies. Thank the Lord he dies. He's a piece of shit. The man at the Myth Guild's Alec, he wants to find out about dragons and where they come from. So after speaking to D. Jones, I decide to come to the old Elvarg lair to investigate to see if there's any information about dragons. I find some sort of blockage in the wall and decide to mine through it to find a laboratory. Inside this laboratory I also find D. Jones. As I was investigating what looks like a blackboard with a school kid's crayon drawings on it, I got attacked by a facehugger. And it wasn't really that scary, and I just sort of hit it and it died. Dallas Jones has the brilliant idea of that because there is a mushroom on the kid's blackboard drawing in this room, that must mean Fossil Island. So we must head to Fossil Island. Nice work, D. Jones, nice detective skills, Sherlock. I head to the house on Fossil Island, where I encountered once again our main man, Dallas Jones. There's a puzzle in the basement we need to solve, and instead of D. Jones doing it, he just gives us a few pieces, tells us to find the rest of the pieces, and then solve it without any help from him whatsoever. So without Dallas Jones here to help me, I had to resort once again to the Wikipedia page, hoping that there was some sort of solution to the puzzle. And luckily there was. Not only was there a picture of the completed puzzle I could work with, there was also locations on where to find the puzzle pieces. You find them here, 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 and here. Even without the help of D. Jones and with the help of the Wikipedia, the puzzle took quite some time to complete, around 20 minutes, just due to the amount of pieces in the puzzle and the fact that each one rotates. And it did take me quite a while, and I was streaming it. And people aren't really interested in watching some dumbass try and solve an already solved puzzle for 20 minutes and failing at it, so you know, that was fun. After solving the puzzle, D. Jones directed us to a dwarf named Jardik, and Jardik here, although looks like a very basic dwarf and has nothing going for him in life, he's actually a very skilled archer. With some of the items the Wikipedia recommended having before starting the quest, I was able to build a rowboat, while Dallas Jones watched me there and didn't really help me whatsoever. We finally arrive on the island that we found out about in the old Elvarg lair. D. Jones was eager to explore there and go through that giant doorway, even though there's a bunch of burned bones and a burned corpse here. It turns out this corpse is actually the corpse of a hero from back in the day, I don't really know when, but there was 4 dudes and one of them died and they defeated the enemy even though one of their mates died, and then they decided to leave the corpse of their friend in this room and left it there. Even though they won the fight and they could have just taken it out and buried him, they just left his body in this like crypt looking room. They weren't really good friends. And it turns out one of those asshole friends is actually Bob the Cat. And Bob the Cat, for those of you that don't know, is a cat NPC within RuneScape that roams anywhere. So yeah, I gotta find a cat that walks everywhere. And to maintain good relations with Bob the cat when I do find him, I brought my own little cat, my Hellcat here, to make me seem more like a cat person so Bob actually talks to me. After finding Bob with the use of our enchanted cat speak amulet, the enchanted variation of the cat speak amulet actually gives you the direction of which Bob is in, so you can find him way easier. We spoke to Bob, then we came here to the Sofahem desert town, speaking to this giant sort of golden cat flying thing. Don't really know what that is. And he tells us that he can't actually help us with the quest, so speaking to this dude was sort of a waste of time. However, this chick is now involved in the quest, and she's going to help us access Bob the cat's memories from back in the day when he was a human being and he left his friend to die. So I need to make a dream potion, and that requires goutweed, the weed you get from the troll storage room, which some people have difficulty with. However, as the master of everything RuneScape, I can do it in a single click, no problem. Just run past all the guards, no need to stop, just get the goutweed and get out. Using the device from the lunar quests, we are able to access Bob's mind, where we must defeat Robert the Strong, which was Bob the cat's first form before he was reincarnated as a cat. The encounter with Bob the Strong was a unique one and a fairly easy one of the easier encounters in the quest. Protect from range comes in handy here, although he's still able to hit through it, and he also has a big boy attack where he tries to shoot some sort of special arrow at you. You can just hide behind one of the 4 pillars here and it won't affect you. We have entered Robert the Strong's mind, where we see Bob and the gang trying to take on this dragonkin. However, it proves to be more powerful than they could have imagined and destroys their best friend, Ava's. He gets destroyed, however they are victorious in defeating the dragonkin boss. That thing on the floor is the key to the door there that unlocks a super weapon that will take over the world. So they decide, instead of opening that door, to break the key into 4 parts and hide it across the world. And that was also the moment they forget about their dearly beloved friend that just got fucked up and leave him there to die. And that's whose corpse we found earlier on in the quest. After seeing all that go down in Bob's mind, we decided it would be a good idea to find all the pieces to that key, forge them back together, and open the door to the massive super weapon that will destroy the world. We thought that was a good idea. Let's do that. Fantastic. The first piece of the key was in this long ass maze, and instead of trying to figure it out myself, I just followed everyone else because I was doing this quest on the day of release. Many people were doing it. I just followed the people that knew what they were doing, and it sort of worked out. We found the second piece in the dirt here. We spoke to a woman named Sarah, well, a ghost named Sarah in Port Fasimus. She told us that she buried it in the swamp. So in order to find it, we spoke to the woman in the Draenor mansion, the woman that makes the Ava's attractors and things. She made us a metal detecting device that works similarly like the Master Clue Scroll Strange device mechanic, where you click on it, it tells you the direction, however it also deals damage to you. I found the third piece on what the old school Wikipedia page dubbed as the Foreskin Fortress. It's a fort on an island in the middle of the sea, guarded by Vorkath, the blue undead dragon boss that Jagex hyped up before the quest. My first encounter with the boss, I had zero experience with it. I hadn't watched any streamer kill it, I hadn't watched a video on how to kill it, I knew nothing on how to kill this boss, so I jumped in hoping for the best, but I forgot my bolts. We got back at it with some ruby and diamond bolts. I didn't know what to expect mechanically, but somehow I was able to defeat it on my first attempt while only using a couple of brews and restore potions. Now it was time to advance into the Foreskin Fortress and find our key piece. I spent way too much time in this room because I had no idea what to do. The Wikipedia didn't really have much information, it was dark, I couldn't really see anything, so what I done was spend like 20 minutes just searching all the things I could search. I ended up with a bunch of old notes, and for whatever reason the Wikipedia said you have to keep these. So in my bank right now, even after doing the quest, I have like 20 old notes, and they're useless, you don't even need them. All you had to do to advance through this room was pull a lever in the southwestern corner, run to the small room that was blocked off, search for a key piece and an ancient key, and that's it. Getting to the final key piece wasn't too difficult. It's located in a catacomb within the Shazane graveyard on Zia. You have to run through a very small maze-like set of rooms, 3 levels, until you reach the area with the key, which is in the bottom floor in the middle. It really wasn't difficult. All I'd done was wear carols to protect me from the magic attacks from the zombies, protect from range to protect me from the range attacks from the zombies, and make my way down to the bottom middle where I had to solve a riddle. The riddle involved 4 pillars and 4 busts. You have to put the right busts on the correct pillars using the riddle found in the middle. Each bust is in the shape of one of the heroes from earlier in the cutscene, and in order to solve that riddle you need to know the heroes' names, their weapons, and where they came from. That's how you solve the riddle. So using that information, which was found in Ava's book back in the dungeon doors where you were with Dallas and you tried to open a door when there was a burnt corpse and stuff. He had a book on him that had details of all his companions. This is where you would get that information, but I didn't read that guy's book, fuck that. I just went on the Wikipedia, got the information, solved the riddle, no problem. The Wikipedia didn't actually give me the answer because it's randomized for each player. However, the information for each hero stays the same, and so it makes solving the riddle way easier. Now, with the 4 key pieces in my inventory, it is time to forge it into 1 key piece so we can head to the dungeon doors and unlock the weapon of mass destruction, because we want to do that for some reason. So I headed to the Backstorian Falls where the Mithril Dragons are located, and on the upper level there's a secret door. I used the ancient key we found in the Foreskin Fortress. That key opened this secret door inside. There's 3 skulls that all point to this sort of device in the middle. Using a charged fire wave spell on each of the skeletons, I was able to start the fires that fuel the flames that helped me forge the 4 pieces into 1 key. Now it's time to get out of this cave, head back to Fossil Islands, go back to the island, go down into the dungeon, see our main man D. Jones still standing there hours after we left. He's done absolutely nothing this quest. He's just sort of been a dumb side character that is a huge pain in the ass. He's just sort of leeching off my achievements and my effort in this quest. I really dislike this man. I place the key in the door and open it to see what is inside. And inside the doors we find a big fucking dragon. What a surprise. It's Dragon Slayer 2 and the weapon of mass destruction is a dragon. We just went through all the effort of finding the key pieces, putting them together, unlocking this door for this dragon looking dude to come in and say, hey, thanks for unlocking this dragon for me. I couldn't do it before because I didn't know where the key was, so yeah, thanks for that guys, I'm going to kill you now. Then he kills Dallas Jones. I run away with Bob the Cat. Then all of a sudden Jardik comes out of nowhere, blasts the dragon for a 64, and then the dragon escapes. And, well, the world's fucked now. It was hard to be upset about all the things that just happened because D. Jones died, and that's probably the best part of the entire quest. Bob Jardik and I figured it would be a good idea to set up a United Nations type deal in RuneScape, so we get all the world leaders from all over the globe together and discuss how we're going to deal with this global threat. Their solution to defeating Zorgoth and Galvek, which is the dragonkin dude and the dragon that killed Dallas, was to mass a fleet together and sail to the island they're at and defeat them. Fight them, defeat them with our armies and our ships. They asked me what I think of this idea, and I said, hey, it's a bad idea. We tried to sail to Crandor in Dragon Slayer 1, the dragon just came out and burnt our ship down. Wood don't do so good against dragonfire. But they didn't give a fuck about what I had to say, and they sent me out on this ship anyway, only to be ambushed by dragons at sea. What a surprise. I had to then repair the ship for 5 minutes as we were being sieged by dragons. And regardless of how well I repaired the ship, it got destroyed anyway, alongside the entire fleet. The only thing left to do was make my way through the wreckage of the fleet and try to find the flagship. And in the process of doing that, I came across a lot of quest NPCs that were fighting dragons. After numerous agility checks, I finally made it to the main ship in the fleet, where we find our main man, Bob the Cat. After helping clear the ship of dragons, Galvek shows up and pops these Varrock guards like they're nothing, like they're dirt. And then when he went to strike me, I was able to dodge out the way, but unfortunately Bob the Cat was stood right behind me, and I moved out the way, and Bob the Cat was destroyed. Killing Bob the Cat was not something I could forgive, and so it was time for Zorgoth and Galvek to die. So it turns out if you die during this instance, you have to pay 100k to one of these Fremenic dudes in order to get your stuff back. And this one Fremenic NPC made 8 billion GP from scamming players 100k every time they died. And that was the moment I both saved the world and avenged Bob the Cat at the same time. It took me 3 attempts to defeat Galvik and Zorgoth on the final moment of this quest, and it was definitely worth the attempts. It was definitely worth the 300k I spent on retrieving the items, because we finally completed Dragon Slayer 2. Unfortunately, our main man, Bob the Cat, has perished. He lost his life, but at the same time, so did Dallas Jones, our man D. Jones. So, sad about Bob the Cat death, but very happy about Dallas Jones' death. So I think on the death scale, Dallas Jones is further up there. On an emotional level, it gives me more happiness than Bob the Cat dying does sadness. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the conclusion to this quest. That's it. Quest complete. Dragon Slayer 2 done. Once again, apologies for the little streaming watermark. I just had to cover the music player because all the footage in this video was taken from the stream I'd done of Dragon Slayer 2. I didn't actually record it with my usual recorder. I just used the file that saved as I streamed it, so if the quality is lower, I also apologise for that as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, feel free to stick around for more. Goodbye.